107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B.
Machel Montano, what's going on, brother?
All good. Thank you for having me.
And I was excited to hear that you were coming in. I was like, he's going to be in town. What? I don't think we've had you on WBLS in a while. And you probably, if you do come over, you probably talk to our guy, David Levy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I even did Wendy Williams on here once.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, now it's a new regime, new generation. You up in here with Deja Vu in the afternoon? Yes, Machel.
Yeah.
All right. So I know that you got a lot going on. You've been moving and shaking, just getting back from OVO Fest and all.
Yep.
How was that over in Toronto with Drake?
That was crazy. Caribana was hype, and of course the show was dope, sold out. We had a huge West Indian audience.
Yes.
It was crazy. We fire lighting up the sky. We had fireworks. Nah, it was a crazy night. Mavado came out. We had Sean Paul showing up, lots of surprise guests, Soca artists jumping in. But it was it was really a fun-filled time. And we left straight from there and went to Barbados on the Sunday, and we did One Love, another sold-out show. We had Wizkid from Wizkid was there with us.
Yes. He's on a hit with Drake now.
Yeah. So it was, it was a kind of hectic weekend. We went from back-to-back shows to Carnival on the road in Barbados, on top of the truck, all of us having a good time, and now we're back here.
All right, so back here, you back in business mode, right? All right, so tell me about this new movie, Bazodee.
Yes, ma'am. This is my first film feature, being a leading role. And Bazodee is actually, the jump out film for soca music. It's about Carnival. We called the movie Scandalous before because it was a little bit about a scandal, and it was about love being Carnival. But we settled at Bazodee. The word Bazodee means to be sprung, crazy in love.
Crazy in love.
And it's about this soca artist who went away to become famous, came back home, didn't want to do it anymore, didn't want to do music anymore, and he fell in love with this girl who was really in love with his music.
Okay.
And apparently she was about to get married, so the rest of the story went into some scandal from that point on. But it was really about, soca music and the love theme of the Caribbean and Carnival, really bringing that energy into him and through her and to the rest of the world.
How did you get presented with the opportunity to play the role? Because you said this is your first movie role.
Yeah.
And you did good. I saw the movie. I was like, hold up, okay. I see you got some little acting skills.
Not too shabby. Well, actually, it was this team from New York, a couple from New York. 10 years ago, they came to me.
10 years ago?
10 years ago. This couple from New York. And one... she was the writer. She was from Barbados.
Okay.
And he was the producer, and he was from Tobago, which is my homeland.
Right.
And they said, hey, Machel, we are big fans of your music. We love your songs. We come to all your concerts. And we want to write a movie about, your music and about a love story based in Trinidad and Tobago. And we want you to play a leading role. And I was a little bit daunted. I was honored, and I was kind of, flattered and humbled by the fact that, the music encouraged this story. But it was a bit challenging for me to see myself acting on the big screen, But I stuck with it over the years. And finally, I met the director, and he said, look, listen, it's going to be natural. Don't worry to go acting classes. Just show up, and, you'll make it happen. And we really stuck with the story from there. It took us a while to get financing.
Yeah, I was wondering, so the whole 10-year journey. So it was the financing, and was it all the casting, or were you guys already set as the cast?
We were determined to find a proper cast, and we wanted to blend, the African culture, the Indian culture. We wanted top actors. We got Kabir Bedi out of the James Bond film, Octopussy. He was the villain. He became the father in the movie. We also got a lot of top actors from London, and we had a lot of great actors from Trinidad. But it was finding the right people for the script. It was also changing the story along the way to really reflect that love message, because before we thought it was scandalous, but it is a bit of taboo for the African and the Indian race to have an interracial relationship in Trinidad. But nowadays it's so normal, and it's so where we move into. We found that the bigger story was the love, and not only the love, but the love of soca music, and that soca music united energy. So we kind of went along making changes, but we were trying so hard to get the right financing, because we wanted the budget to reflect a good quality of movie, and we wanted to be authentic.
Absolutely. Yeah. As well as you doing the starring role, you did the soundtrack and everything too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So they gave you double double duty.
Soundtrack and score, double duty.
Okay.
And it was really pretty challenging. And I mean, if this was not enough, shooting this movie during Carnival was tough. This was a big year. This was the year I had like a boss. I was doing my final year in Soca Monarch. I was going for road march,
right,
doing 50 fets a night, reaching home at 4 a.m. and then having to go on the set at 5 a.m. until 5 p.m. It was tough.
So you went straight from the club back to the set?
Straight there.
That's some hard work.
Yeah, no time to learn lines, just wing it. And do my best, but it really helped me to kind of overcome the fear and the challenge of really getting behind the camera.
Is it already in theaters?
It's coming out tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
August 5th, yeah,
August 5th.
Yes,
kicking off the weekend. So when you have your weekend plans with your boo and everything, go and stop on by the theaters, and we can rock and see you on the big screen, right?
Go out in droves, carry 10, 15, 20 of your friends.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so wait a minute. I was doing some research on you because I wasn't really familiar with the music until I got to Brooklyn when I first moved to New York, and all my hairstylists would be like, yeah, Machel Montano. Like, who is this guy? So anyway, I started hearing about it, and my sister started dating a Trinidad guy. So I was doing research, and I'm like, you've been in this game since you were like yay high, a kid.
9 years old.
9 years old?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Forget.
Did you have family that was already in the music business?
None of my family.
So how did you become the star?
That's a funny story. My brother was just trying to pick up a hobby, and they was teaching him to play the guitar, and he would have to play guitar and sing. But he had a little rhythm problem, so he used to, pull me by the ear and say, you sing this while I play this for his homework. And my mom said, you have a nice voice. You want to join the choir? And I was like, yeah, no problem, okay. And the choir, they said, you want to sing calypso in our school competition? I was like, okay, and I won. And then they was like, you want to represent the school in the national competition? I was like, okay, and I won. And I immediately became this, this phenomenal across the country. This little guy singing like an adult. And the very next day, a guy came from New York and asked me if I wanted to open for Sparrow and Kitchen at Madison Square Garden.
Wow, are you kidding me?
Yeah, in 1984. So I was in Madison Square Garden opening, and it's so strange. I came here on this radio station, on WBLS and WLIB, back in the day.
Really?
And yeah, in the year 2000, I was really trying to figure out my purpose. And I had a tape of an interview on this station, and the guy said, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I said, I see myself making music and doing things to bring cultures together and to unite people. And this was like a 9-year-old saying this, and I really didn't remember having that conscious, understanding of what I wanted to do. But here I am today doing the very same thing.
That is amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. So you are really operating your divine purpose.
For sure.
I see now that there's a lot of influence from soca to reggae in the music that's on right now. I mean, you hear the hits that are out with Drake and Rihanna, and then
Justin Bieber.
Yes. So where do you think this is moving with the soca vibe?
I think it's necessary. All things that are in the dark come to the light. You had the reggae revolution. You had Bob Marley influencing people like Eric Clapton and Sting and the Police and all these guys. And I think soca music over the years has played its role in carnivals. People coming to carnivals. It's been underground. It's been the fabric of the Labor Day Parade and Miami Carnival and Notting Hill Carnival and Caribana. But we have never really focused on making records. Over my last few years, I've focused on taking the music international, giving it good looks by doing collaborations with people like Wyclef and Pitbull, Dougie Fresh. I would dip into every genre and try to make friends and make music to reach out. But I think, in recent times, we had stuff like reggaeton being big that had the kind of dancehall soca beat.
Right.
And, the music has been coming to the forefront now where soca is influencing a lot of pop music.
Even the EDM stuff. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a minute, Major Lazer? What?
And it's a divine purpose because I feel that our music, through the carnival and the beat of soca music, it encourages happiness. It's an energy of love and coming together and unity. And I think at a time when the world needs that, this music sounds like paradise. This music sounds like a good time. It sounds like you want to dance, you want to drink a beer, you want to flex, you want a red stripe or a Carib. You feel that kind of island vibe and island breeze and island unity. And it's much more about, I go way back to the history of the slaves. We've been brought to the Caribbean from Africa, from India, and we live different in New York City. In New York, you have Chinatown, and you have Little Korea and Little Italy. But we live in little islands where we all crouch up next to each other and we share each other's food, we share each other's traditions. traditions, and we celebrate. Hindus celebrating Diwali, but they celebrating Christmas.
Exactly.
Muslims celebrating, Eid and Diwali. So we all love each other, and I think it's important that it's coming out in our music, in that vibe, and it's spreading around the world. And you're seeing all the top songs on the Billboard right now having some sort of soca vibe or influence in it.
Love it. And I see you're taking advantage of all of it. I am not mad.
I'm playing my role on screen and on that, on the music tip.
All right, cool. So after the movie and everything, where can we find you?
Well, I will be coming back to New York for a couple of shows. Of course, you'll see me here Labor Day. I'm also doing something with Lauryn Hill coming up soon, so look out for that. I'm all over the place. I'm doing shows, every weekend, and just doing big things. Miami Carnival, I'm gonna be here. I'm always at all the carnivals, but definitely, I'm encouraging people, come see me and hear the music in the theaters right now from tomorrow. Go on Fandango, check it out.
The movie comes in theaters. Bazodee opens tomorrow in theaters. Machel Montano will be seeing you in a couple of months.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you come back up to the station and hang out with us?
Most definitely will.
And you know what we're going to do behind the scenes? We might do a little wine contest. Can we do a wine contest?
I think we could teach them how to do that.
Oh, yes.
Now that they have so much music on the radio, they need to see some real skills.
Yes. And how can we get you on social media?
At Machel Montano on Instagram and Twitter, MachelMontano, MachelMontano.com.
Love it. Perfect. All right, yo, guys, put your hands together. Machel Montano.
Yeah.
Stopping by. 107.5 WBLS. That's how we do.